Curt Steinhorst is the author of Can I Have Your Attention? He is a world-renowned keynote speaker, and here are his 5 steps to thrive in sales.
In fact, 9 out of 10 people today, or 88% to be precise, when watching TV, actively use a second device. So we have actually seen the period of time where the device that was historically attributed as a cause of ADD is now those that can focus only on it are the best we have. So you're in good position there. The other thing with Game of Thrones is that they put together a great narrative. They have done an amazing job in terms of the visual effects. They know how to cast characters. And it's in those rare moments that we actually have all of the recipe for what can drive focus. Hyper-focus is the particular type that we're talking about there, that is completely different than the way that we live the rest of our lives. At our core, we're really not made to focus. We're made to want to seek out new and novel stimulus, to want to find something new. Whenever we're focused in one direction, if I was in a jungle and reading Shakespeare, life would not be good for me. I would not survive. And so in a lot of ways, we're the beneficiaries of what created survival in a different period of time. The more that we can find, particularly for the really important work that we're doing, distinct places that everything about the environment, when we walk into it, we only do these types of activities. The more, 6 months from now, 3 months from now, a week from now, it'll be easier rather than harder. And the other thing is, it's actually really great to have a place where you get to go and not have to think about work. And the double-edged sword here is that we go everywhere and find ourselves partially working, but then we go to work and we don't work. And it's actually really, really healthy for us if we can say this particular location, this spot is going to be reserved for my hardest work. And then these other places, we can live in the mix and the benefits of having everything available to us. And then we have a couple spaces where we say this is reserved specifically for the most important things at home, which are having casual conversations and not having to think at all about the role we're playing at work. There is an actual diagnosis for those who have ADD and those who have ADHD. And what that is, simplified, but really what's taking place there is it has to do with the frontal cortex of your brain and not getting enough dopamine, either not receiving or not releasing enough dopamine, which makes us make better decisions. Because ultimately, when we're happier, we don't need to go seeking out new forms of stimulation, right? So there's a diagnosed component there. But the other component is it's certainly not black and white, and we're all moving towards the direction of distraction. And so the idea that some people either are or aren't is a little bit of a misnomer. It is a scale that everyone falls on and everyone's moving on is the best way I can put that. And so today, in fact, when I started diving into the subject professionally, my educational background, undergrad and graduate studies, is in communication and technology. How does technology change it? And personal story, I had ADD diagnosis as a kid, and I start telling people about my struggles, and all of a sudden everyone I talk to says they're having the same ones. And so today, I would say most people feel like they're ADD because no one's supposed to sit and look at a spreadsheet all day. We're doing things that we're not supposed to be doing. And so maybe better not to say, am I ADD or am I not, but instead just to say, have I set up the systems and processes to facilitate work, or am I becoming a victim to all the things available to me? Those who can master their habits will win, just to put it really simple. So yes, in that sense, habits are the secret. But on the other hand, there's a lot of hidden factors that shape how well we do this that are far easier to make sure we're setting up correctly rather than as simple as, I just need to do it and I need to do it better and I need to focus more. Because look, everybody knows they need to respond to the client rather than check the newest message on social media. Everyone knows they need to do it. And they know that if they would do it, they might get habits to do it more often. And they know someone that makes them feel guilty for how well they focus. So we all have that. And as someone with this diagnosed component, which means that I naturally can't focus on anything, what I can tell you is that there's better ways to think about it than just feeling guilty that we don't have the right habits or just trying to strengthen and grit it out whenever we don't like it. One of the foundational challenges of today is that the volume of information that comes at us, so we receive and have to consume more than 400% of the amount of information somebody had to consume in 1986. Like, we're just constantly having to consume and digest and process and reply to information all the time. Some of it we like, some of it we don't, but we're overwhelmed by it. Here's one of the biggest problems with that. The more we consume, the less we have the capacity to differentiate importance. Now everything feels important. Like, whatever comes up is important, and we have to do it right now. And so we live in this state of reactive and chaotic internal anxiety. And when we do that, we might ultimately feel like we don't get enough done, or might feel like we get a lot done, but neither of those actually drive us forward. How we feel does not drive us forward. It's only because we take the space that's required to say what is actually, as you mentioned, what's creating revenue. Like, what is the linchpin factors? Because our customers, they're going to tell us 100 different things they need. They're going to reply immediately. And if I don't have systems in place to set expectations, to make sure that they're getting what they need without being a victim to whatever whim they have, because there's no cost to them lobbing a grenade over to our side, then I'll be fast, I'll be responsive, but I'll be nothing more than a transaction for them.
Hey, hope you enjoyed that one. Click up here to watch another 5 Steps to Thrive in Sales video. Click down here to watch the full interview where all these clips came from.